Yo, so I just drank my own pee for the first time, and it ain't bad. I never thought to do it. I always thought, pee stink, whatever, but
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and it's an interesting time in the world, in the geek community. We've got coronavirus out there. It's affecting our lives as far as entertainment. It's affecting our lives as far as day to day. And today I want to do, a nerd's survival guide to coronavirus. And with me is a man that's in the heart of the action, right there in Seattle. Perch, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Got a little cough. Maybe I should be worried. Probably not. But yes,
Lay off the cervezas.
that's right. Too much beer. Yes, it is definitely eerie. The street, we feel like we're parts of China. Streets are empty. In many cases, people, the state announced just yesterday that people should stay home, stop, non-essential government work. We are in the season of coronavirus. We're all in.
Speaking from a comic book perspective, Emerald City Comic Con seems to have been, devastated. DC pulls out, Dark Horse is pulled out, O&I, CGC. It feels like, the whole thing's probably going to end up being, shut down. DC Comics has canceled all of their convention, appearances for the entire month of March. This is pretty devastating, right?
It is. I mean, there's some speculations. This is just a backdoor way to not expose creators to that kind of smelly body odor of a convention. But it is a big deal. It is going to definitely impact the Comic-Con season through the first half of the year. You think about places like San Diego Comic-Con, where you have thousands of people all jammed up together in really tight confines. If the summer doesn't start to knock this out, the fear and the panic do not start to subside, we're going to see a year of blown Comic-Cons. And I think Emerald City Comic-Con, it's inevitable that it's going to be canceled.
Yeah, it's almost ground zero, and you can see that it's probably just going to be a domino effect as a bunch of other cons that are planned out, get knocked over and canceled. You're a sweaty nerd. You go to these conventions. You don't mind the body odor and things of that nature. Would you have gone to Emerald City Comic-Con if it stays going?
I mean, it's tough because let's just put it this way. I mean, Comic-Con, I obviously love comics. I love the fans. I love the people that purchase it, everything else. I will say that personal hygiene is not always top of list for a lot of the people who go to the cons. So this whole, it's funny. If one thing this virus is going to do for us, it's getting people to wash their hands after they go to the bathroom. So that is an amazing development that hopefully we can all carry forward into the future, washing your hands. But I do think this thing is overhyped. I think it's definitely overblown. I think that, there's a lot of data that just people are not hearing about, how it's attacking, how it's transmitting. This is a super flu. I would have a little bit of reservations going into that con, into that big crowd of people, at least but not necessarily because of coronavirus. I will tell you, every time I go into a con with a ton of people, either as a vendor or as a participant, I am thinking that I need to, stock up on some airborne and just get some kind of immunity going before I walk into there, because and people get sick. A lot of people get sick after cons.
So do you reach into your Asian heritage? I know you've got some. I believe you're part Japanese. Do you wear the surgical mask when you go into these things just to protect yourself?
Not in this country. It's more cultural than anything. If I'm traveling overseas, I will do it if I'm feeling cold. But the point of the mask is, yeah, you wear it when you're feeling sick, and you're doing it to protect others. You're not doing it to protect yourself. That flimsy mask, I mean, it has a kind of incoming protection rate of about 30 minutes. It's not going to be effective. But when I'm traveling overseas, absolutely. If I'm feeling sick, that's the culturally good thing to do. I do wish our country, honestly, the U.S. would adopt more of that. It's not a bad thing to do. If you're not going to just stay home when you're sick, protect the people around you is smart. And I mean, hey, with cosplay, it's a no-brainer. Dress up like Dr. Nemesis.
Full disclosure, my kids are wearing those masks when they're out of the house right now. And we don't even have coronavirus right here, but me and my wife are being extra precautious. To be honest, if I was single and I was still in the United States, I don't think coronavirus would really change my behavior very much. Sounds like it's more affecting the elderly and things like that. But as a family man with a wife and children, my wife is freaked out because of all the coverage. It's It's nonstop through the news, so it's something I have to keep an eye on. Are you feeling the same heat from from Sink House?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My wife is worried. The kids, they canceled school for 2 weeks, so the kids are like, double spring break, very excited, but mom's very worried. And I mean, I'm like you. I'm if I was single, honestly, the things I would worry about more going to the con is alcohol poisoning than anything else. But it's not as big a deal as the media is going to hype it up to be. But that said, when thousands of people are dying, it's still, you got to take it seriously. You need to keep your head.
If I were wanting to bunker up, as a comic book nerd, these are the things I would stock up on. I know a lot of people would kind of have a tendency to maybe grab the Mountain Dew or maybe the Surge, but I'm not going there. I don't want to be fidgety. I don't want to be antsy. I don't want to have the urge to walk out of the house because I have too much energy. I'm stocking up on Yoo-Hoo. What else am I stocking up on? I'm getting lots of ramen. I'm getting some Vienna sausages. If you take spicy ramen and Vienna sausages, you can make a great bootleg bude jjigae, which is a delicious Korean soup. What would you suggest as far as stocks, as far as food and drink for comic nerds?
Oh, ramen's a good suggestion. I mean, cheap, good. Maybe you're worried you have to go into a Asian market to get it. That is racist, folks. You don't need to worry about that. But yeah, I mean, definitely ramen's a good one. So it's interesting in the Seattle area. You go into the grocery store, and it's fascinating to see the run on things that people have. I mean, obviously, you go into the medicine aisle, and you've got Advil and Tylenol gone. That's probably a good thing to get for yourself if you don't have any of that. But then you go down the aisle, the toilet paper is wiped out, no pun intended, everywhere in the store. And then weirdly, so I'm walking around, I'm just noticing what is empty on the shelves, and I'm fascinated by what's gone. I hit this one space, it's just empty. There's nothing there. And the condoms and the pregnancy tests have been devastated. They were all gone. And so I have no idea what kind of party people are planning for, but toilet paper, condoms, pregnancy tests, aspirin. That seems to be what you're going to have trouble finding.
Yeah, people are not out on the streets. It is the summer of love, people. We're all going to be in our houses. Stock up on your condoms and pregnancy tests. I've seen pictures. Nobody still wants the vegan products. Are you surprised by that one?
You know what? I'm not surprised by that one. I think it definitely, the vegan stuff is still there. The fake turkey, all that kind of stuff. You can that is a plenty. You can find it, and if you take those vegan dishes and then you mix it with a lot of meat, you can get yourself a pretty good dish.
I don't know. Maybe some fake turkey and spicy ramen would make it okay, but I still wouldn't buy it. I'd rather starve than try that vegan stuff.
Just mix it with real turkey, and it's fine.
So I see a lot of guys, breaking their highest score levels on video games right now. The online video game community should be bigger than ever as everyone's kind of staying home and bunkering down. Do you have any comic book suggestions? I'm thinking maybe omnibuses. Yeah. Maybe something like a big, thick read. Maybe grab you some Planet Hulk. That's a nice big read. Maybe what would be another good one? The Long Halloween's a pretty big read.
Oh, that's a great one. No, I mean, if you've never read some of the classics, Kraven's Last Hunt, that's not that big, but still, great series. I mean, some of the Avengers back in the 80s are wonderful. It's a shame that She-Hulk omnibus is still a couple months away. The Grant Morrison a new X-Men one would be great reading right about now, especially because that comic features a virus that comes and takes over the X-Mansion, gets them all super sick with Nano Sentinel. So, I mean, it's topical. You can go right for that. And then if you really got that kind of gallows sense of humor, Walking Dead trade paperbacks are all there, and it just might remind you of Outside a little bit. So it feels like you're part of the action.
Well, those Walking Dead trade paperbacks, or even, I know those were released in omnibus.
Yeah.
You could definitely learn some tricks of the trade, some survival techniques, just in case this isn't just a massive flu. It actually might, mutate into some type of zombie apocalypse, which I personally have been planning for about 25 years now. Yeah, I don't know about yourself. Definitely. I have a lot of extra tools and things that I've been stockpiling. Lawnmower blades, things of that nature, just in case I need to make some type of new weaponry to protect the family.
Yeah, I think, I mean, definitely. If you haven't been planning for this now in life, you're behind the times. So get with it. Get your weapons. Get your different blades and things prepared. And frankly, I mean, if your town goes into quarantine, if you find yourself in the same situation as Seattle, now is the time to dress up like a character from The Walking Dead. Wander out into the streets with your swords. Nobody's going to stop you. I mean, you know, give the police a laugh. They'll appreciate it. I promise.
It's called Neighborhood Watch. You know, I think Marvel seems to have beat everyone to the punch on this. Don't they have a new character out called Virus?
They do. I mean, that is topical, and it's Free Comic Book Day, which also has the potential to be impacted, certainly by all this stuff. But yeah, Virus is a brand new Venom character, and I mean, they're right with the times. I mean, I've heard that 5G is going to be rewritten to do a lot more with Virus as well. So, you know, hey, you hear it first, and if the virus does not infect anyone or everyone, then AT&T is going to sell DC.
Well, AT&T is going to sell DC to Marvel Comics. We all know that one, right?
That's right. Yes, they're selling to Marvel. That's it's a done deal. We all know it. That's why they pulled out the cons. This is all a big smokescreen for the fact that they're busy with lawyers selling the company of Marvel. That's absolutely what it means.
Getting back to maybe something a little bit more serious, talking about DC, you know, with them canceling all of their, you know, convention appearances, we know that they are rewriting or restructuring DC 5G a little bit, maybe some of the lead up to that. Thinking of it glass half empty, glass half full type of a perspective, this could all end up, you know, kind of working out for DC if they're able to regroup and not get distracted by cons and maybe some other outside distractions. They get a, you know, regroup, circle the wagons, and really get this 5G event going. Because I'll be honest, I read Flash 750 today. I'm kind of getting excited.
Yeah, I mean, so a couple things there. First of all, Flash 750, I like the issue. I think I liked it a little bit more than you did from the sound of it. But that last story, the Brett Booth, Scott Lobdell, Wally part of the story, you know, don't need to spoil anything, but everything that you've heard on this channel and that I've been talking about as well, about 5G and kind of its similarities to Age of Apocalypse. I mean, if you read that story, you gotta think the same way. I mean, it's clearly, you heard it here. This is where the good information is. But one of DC's big problems, I think, has been their marketing and their kind of their hype and their messaging has just been either all over the place or just non-existent where they needed to put out a good message. And so if this season, if canceling the cons, getting, you know, allowing them to circle the wagons a little bit, get their messaging on point, use this as an opportunity to, you know, get the shuffling kind of calm down and really be able to explain to comic fans in the market what they're after, then I think this will definitely be a you know, glass half full good thing for DC, because that has been their struggle. And I think some of the people that do a lot of this, some of the people that have done a lot of this for DC, they get distracted by cons and they've just got a million jobs going on. So I think it's a good thing overall that this is happening for them, which is a weird way to say it because, you know, they're obviously going to take a bunch of expenses. The other part to this virus that people should take seriously, at least if you're in comics, is that most comic book shops are small businesses. This is going to hit them particularly hard. And so, you know, in addition to kind of DC getting their plan, just keep in mind that a lot of comic shops are dependent on people coming in and picking up those comics. If they can't come in and pick up anything, then you know, then it's definitely a problem. So if you have the ability and you have our big pull box customer, giving your comic shop a call or shooting them an email would be, I know, much appreciated by everybody. So we've made some jokes today, and we've talked a lot about the coronavirus and kind of the impact of comics, and definitely there's an economic impact, almost more than anything. But to be serious for just a second, I mean, you know, for everyone listening, the important things you can do is two things. You know, one, just practice basic sanitation. If you are going to a con or a big place, I mean, I know you've heard this on the news and everything else a million times, so this isn't new, but just wash your hands, keep yourself safe. Don't let somebody cough into your mouth. That's gross anyway. Just don't do that. And then just practice basic hygiene. That alone does a lot. And definitely that is true regardless if there's a coronavirus or not. You know, be clean. And if you're going to do things at a con, I've done some videos about this. Don't drink to excess. Don't make yourself so drunk you do not know how to get back to your hotel room. That's too drunk. Or have a good buddy who's going to help you get there. But the other thing, like we mentioned, there is a big economic impact that's going to hit by this. A lot of people in this business are small comic shops, small independent owners, and for everything. This applies to people who are doing Indiegogos, crowdfunding things, small shops, small publishers. all these guys. I mean, the reality is Marvel, DC, Image, they're going to be fine. They do have a stockpile of some cash. They publish big books with long-term deals. They are going to be fine. The smaller guys are going to be hit. A 10% of a drop in their business could be catastrophic to some. Many shops are living literally hand to mouth, and so they just do not have a lot of bank there. Watch out for those guys. If there's a comic book you love or a creator you like or something, again, crowdfunding, whatever it happens to be, just consider, letting them know what's going on, letting them know the situation, help them out if you can. And when I say help them out, I don't mean charity. I just mean buy your books, do what you do normally. A lot of these people are not needing some, don't get them in a situation where they need something unusual. They just need regularity. They just need you to do what you normally do. That's the money they count on. So if there's a comic you love, don't stop buying it because you can't leave the house. Figure out a way. It's very easy to give somebody a call, have something mentioning whatever it happens to be, and that can go a long way. So that's my little serious bit on all this with the coronavirus. Definitely, it's also good to keep a little bit of a sense of humor, like we've tried to today, and we'll all get through it together. So thanks a lot, Wes, certainly for having me on here, and hopefully we made some people laugh and cry and all those things.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.